Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome you all to the Bob Wound Care Formulary launch presentation this afternoon. This is going to be a joint presentation with Medicines Optimization, represented by myself and the three Bob TVN colleagues from Buckinghamshire, Oxfordshire and Berkshire West, who need to be given a special mention today because of their work with me in doing this project. In the Bucks locality, we've got Michelle and Jill Bemmer. We've got in Oxfordshire, Martha Williams and Penny Rubio, and Berkshire West, Michelle Crouch and Jane Harry. As I say, not all of them can be here today, but they do deserve a special mention for the work that they've done with me. Next slide, please, Aisha. Just to remind you of the housekeeping rules, please. If you don't mind keeping your cameras switched off and your microphone on mute, please post any questions that you have in the chat box, and MOT will monitor the questions coming through, and we will respond to those questions towards the end of the session when we've got a Q&A session. We'll record the webinar and post it up on the Clinoc SharePoint after the session, so you can revisit the session at any time that you choose. And I'd like to thank my colleague Aisha Afonso, who's looking after the slides this afternoon. Next slide, please, Aisha. Quite a straightforward agenda. I'll be as brief as possible. Just thought I'd give you some background as to what's the role of medicines optimization in creating a formulary, not necessarily wound care formulary, but just any formulary, and what our role is, followed by the clinical sessions given by the TVNs, who will take you through what's changed in the formularies in each of the different categories. And as I mentioned, we've got a questions and answer towards the end of the session. Thank you, Aisha. Next slide, please, Aisha. Oh, not moved for me. Oh, there we go. Yes, I've got it. Yeah. So you might ask, why do we need a Bob wound care formulary? The Bob ICB was established as a statutory body in July 2022. And it comprises of the three localities, which were the Buckinghamshire, Oxfordshire and Berkshire West. Each locality would have had their own wound care formulary agreed and ratified by their individual area prescribing committees that existed at the times that the formularies were created. But in coming together as a Bob ICB, we needed to align and create a Bob wound care formulary to ensure the continuity of high quality wound management was underpinned by a wound care formulary that was responsive to the wound care needs of the population of Bob ICB, and it ensured the best outcomes for our patients and was cost effective for the NHS. Next slide, please, Aisha. Has it moved on? Not moved on yet. Seems to be struggling to move on for me. Apologies, colleagues. Oh, there we go. Yes, it's come through now. So you might want to know how we created the Bob wound care formulary, and we created out of the amalgamation and alignment of the three place-based formularies, and the three TVN teams worked with MOT, the Medicines Optimization team, to provide their clinical input, and we were supported by Health Innovation Oxford to do that. The process involved in creating the formulary was to map out the three locality formularies and group the products into 4 categories. And that was to look at those products that were the same across 3 localities, those that were same in 2 or 1, or was unique in each of the areas. Those products that were the same across the 3 localities were the ones that were proposed to be included in the Bob formulary. And all the other 3 categories, the TVNs worked collaboratively amongst themselves and proposed the product that should be included for the Bob wound care formulary. Thank you, Aisha. So we've got a lovely shiny new Bob wound care formulary, but I thought I'd just let me describe to you what's the next process for getting approval. Once we've got a formulary, we have to take it through to our prescribing committees. And in this case, when it's a wound care, we take it to the Medicines Optimization Team Governance Group, which acts as a subcommittee of the main area prescribing committee. And it's the main area prescribing committee called the APC, which is the ICB's formulary decision group. And it's this group's responsibility to make decisions about which medicines and appliances that ICB can include in the BOB prescribing formulary. This is a very robust governance process in deciding which products can be included in the prescribing formulary. And in devising the formulary, the medicines optimization teams work closely with clinicians to ensure that the most cost-effective products, which deliver the best clinical outcomes and are value to the NHS, are proposed to be included in the formulary. Formularies are reviewed periodically to ensure that the products continue to deliver best value for the NHS, and periodic changes need to be made if there are changes in product availability or if there are new products that come to market which deliver benefits for our population. All wound care formulary changes have to go back through the MOTG process once again, so it's a cyclical process that we have to follow. Thank you, Aisha. During this phase, I just wanted to let you know that the CCOMs and Halo have been informed of the products that are included in the BOB wound care formulary. And so we've been in close communication with them to make sure that they're aware of what we will be transitioning to. The platforms are working with us to make sure that all the products are available from the 1st of August. And before you start transitioning to the new formulary products, please make sure that you use up any existing products that you have, and then look to see what the changes are, if any, to order in the replacement products. We'd like you to provide some feedback on any of the new or existing formulary products to the TVNs, because we appreciate that in some areas you may not have had experience of using the products, and it's important for us to be in touch with you all to understand how the products are performing. Thank you, Aisha. I'd like you all to welcome Michelle Finch, please, who is the Bucks TVN, and she'll take you through the difference and the changes in the formulary. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Bina. Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle. I'm one of the tissue viability nurses for Buckinghamshire. We cover both acute and community. For the first part of this presentation, I will be just talking about the first few areas that have been some changes to. This is a brief guide of the categorisation of and wording of the BOB wound care guidance. So the green products are what are open to all. So when you go on to Hela or CCOMs in Berkshire, you'll have a list of products that you can order, which all those on there are the green products. That if there are other products that you need, you'll be able to order them, but they'll need to come and be authorised by a tissue viability nurse. And in doing that, you must issue the NHS number and the rationale for use. And then there are products under the red category, which are for TVN use, or in Berkshire for the TVN use and wound care nurses only. And we will arrange supply of these to be sent to the clinician. Next slide, please. So just a brief, the categories that I'm discussing are shown on this slide. Next slide, please. So non-adherent dressings, the Zoopad is not a change in Oxfordshire and Berkshire on your formulary, so you're all used to using those already. In Buckinghamshire, this is a change to formulary from Zechovit sterile. So once you've used up your supplies, this will be the new product you'll be able to order. Cliniderm, which is a super absorbent, is no change for the Oxfordshire formulary. In Buckinghamshire, this is a change from your Zechovit Plus. And in Berkshire, this is a change from your Convermax non-adhesive. The Sorbian sachet is for TVN use only. So if you do have any wounds that you think are not being maintained by the cliniderm, please get in touch with your TVN or wound care specialist, and we can have a look to see if the Sorbian sachet is suitable. Next slide, please. Non-absorbent adherent dressings, the Cliniderm foam silicone border. So there's no change again for Oxfordshire. Buckinghamshire, this is a change from Foam Light. And in Berkshire, this is a change from your Supersorb P. The Respisorb silicone is no change in Buckinghamshire, but Oxfordshire, this is a change from your Biotane. And in Berkshire, this is a change from your Aquacel foam adhesive. Some sizes will be for TVN recommendations only. So if we recommend a size, we will order it via the ordering platforms. Next slide, please. And then we have the contact layer adherent border. So soft pore is no change for Oxfordshire. Buckinghamshire, this is a change from Cosmopore, and Berkshire, this is a change from Primapore. And then we have the Cosmopore transparent shower-proof dressing, and it's no change on any formulary. Next slide, please. Non-adhesive contact layers, Atrauman is no change to any areas. And active heel wound contact layer, this is no change from the Oxfordshire formulary. This is a change from Mepitel 1 on Buckinghamshire and Adaptic Touch on Berkshire. For Buckinghamshire, I'm not sure if it's for all the other areas. This is for back pump use only and needs to be via a TVN. Next slide, please. Film dressing, hydrofilm, no change to any areas of formulary. Next slide, please. Fixing tape, Scampor, no change in Buckinghamshire. Oxfordshire and Berkshire, it's a change from Clinipore. And then there's a second option of Hyperfix, no change in Berkshire formulary. Buckinghamshire, it's a change from MeFix, and Oxfordshire, a change from Omnifix. Next slide, please. Then we have the desloughing dressing, Ergo Clean, no change to any formulary. This was for specialist recommendation via tissue viability in Buckinghamshire and Berkshire, but is now open for all to order on the ordering platform. Hydrogels, Kerolite Cool, no change in Buckinghamshire and Berkshire formulary. Oxfordshire, it's a change from Activeform Cool. Then we have the Active Heal Hydrogel, that's no change to Buckinghamshire. Oxfordshire, it's no product replacement, and Berkshire change from Purolon Gel. Alginate, no change to any formulary at the moment with Aquacel Extra. Mechanical debridement cloths, UCS cloth, no change to Buckinghamshire formulary, new to formulary for Oxfordshire and Berkshire. Another alternative of mechanical debridement is the All Prep pad, no change to Oxfordshire, new to Buckinghamshire formulary. Berkshire, this is a change from Debris Clean pad and Debris Soft lolly. This is a temporary inclusion while evaluating alternative products. So in the future, this may change. Larval therapy, biobag, no change to formulary. This is via TVN recommendation only and prescribed via FP10. I'll now hand you over to our colleagues in Oxfordshire. Welcome, Penny.
Thank you, Michelle. That's great. I'll be going through the next categories. I just wanted to clarify, maybe it's just me, going back to the green, amber and red. The green and amber are both available by Halo or CCOMS. The green, you don't need to put justification in the box. The amber is what we call patient specific. So you need to put the NHS number, your rationale for using it, and how many you use each dressing change. You should only be ordering for 2 weeks at a time. So that's like a patient specific thing. That doesn't get authorized by TVN, but it is monitored by the MOT department. So, and that could be, you could be called to question on that. So if you're using an amber product and ordering that on the systems, you need to put that rationale and the NHS number. And the red things you need to, they would only be available via ourselves. We can order them on Halo and supply to you. So thank you, Michelle, for that. Just moving on to the next lot of products. So odour control. So all areas so far have Clinisorb available to them. At the moment, that's not available. There's a national problem with some of the ingredients into that, which is charcoal. And at the moment, we've got Cinesteam as a temporary replacement. Next slide, please. And that is what's going to remain for the time being, but these are both red, so they need to be requested through TV. Just to say as well that I think each area is going to do its own individual bite-sized training afterwards, because there's some slight changes as to depending on where you work. Nursing home might have slightly different access than district nurses, for example. So this is generic, but there will be better clarification coming specifically from your TVN team for whichever county you are in. But I believe it's red for all areas for the odour control. Next slide, please. So the antimicrobial dressings, lots of different antimicrobials out there. You'll see there, I won't go through them all, but you'll see there a summary for your area. Lots of areas got a whole range of honeys and Codexma iodines, some having silvers, and then the dry antimicrobials as well as the enzymatic, the flaminols and the like. So it's taken some work to align these. If we could have the next slide. And what we've come up with here is that the flaminols, the hydro and the forte are all available to all areas. All of the antimicrobials, apart from the silvers, they're all on the amber section. So they're patient specific, need the NHS number and the rationale when you're requesting them on Halo or CCOMS. Flaminol RT for radiotherapy for burns is also an option now, but I think that's actually red. But again, you'll need to check with your local TVN training. Honeys, we have Algivon Plus, which also comes in the ribber format, and then in the tube, Activon Tube. L-mesotran Border and Hydro. Then the Codexma iodines of Iodazorb and Iodaflex. The dry antimicrobial, the DAC Cutimed Sorbact Contact, that's the dry swab. The moist one that's got gel on it, that is a red product, only available for TVNs to order. And then there's a range of silver products that again only available for TVNs to order. They're not your go-to. Your first and second line would be your honeys, your flaminols, and your Codexma iodines. Next slide, please. So looking at your support and retention bandaging, everybody has had K-Lite on and things like Actifast or Clinifast, and then a comfy net of some sort. Oxfordshire had Tubi Grip, and then there was K-Soft and K-Ban. And in Oxfordshire only we had Rosedal Soft, which is a foam sub-bandage wadding, and that was only for TVNs. So this is all going to change now to the next slide. We continue to keep K-Lite, and that is green. The tubular bandage is now going to be Actifast on each area, and that's the red, blue, yellow and beige sizes, which are green. Comfy net in 2 different sizes is also green. Comfy Grip, which is like Tubi Grip in 4 different sizes, is only available for TVNs. And the sub-bandage wadding across all areas is going to be K-Soft. And Rosedal Soft, which will be available for TVNs only on the red area. And that's a specialist foam bandage to go underneath lymphedema bandaging. Next slide, please. So compression bandaging, we're seeing a little bit of change here across the area. So most areas have had Actico, Buckinghamshire had Clini Stretch. Then K2 has been used a lot, but in Oxfordshire we had Coflex as well. Not as strong compression, but as mild compression. And then Coban 2 has been around in some, but not all areas. So if we could have the next slide. This is what's going to be happening across all areas now. So Actico is being replaced by Clini Stretch, which is the Haddenham short stretch bandage. Looks and behaves very much like Actico. Haddenham is sending out at the moment a communication for getting training for using their product. It's pretty much like for like, so please don't fret about that. You should use up your stocks of Actico before you start using the Clini Stretch, and you probably shouldn't be mixing Actico and Clini Stretch. And please do look out for the training that they are offering. Look out for that email. There is a latex-free short stretch bandage, Rosidal K. That's actually a washable bandage. K2 in full compression, 40 millimeters mercury, still available across all areas. None of the compression is available in nursing homes because you're going to need to have training in that first. So that would need to come via tissue viability nurses. So that's your strong compression at 40 millimeters of mercury, and then the mild compression at 20 millimeters of mercury, what we call reduced compression in Oxfordshire. The Coflex has gone in Oxfordshire, and both K2 reduced sizes are now available across all areas. Again, that's green on the Halo and CCOMs, but not available in nursing homes. And then on the red system, we have Coban 2, which is the specialist lymphedema bandaging, and that's only available through your tissue viability team. Next slide, please. So I'd like to welcome now, that's me over and done with, Michelle Crouch from West Berkshire, who will go through the remaining sections of the formulary.
Thank you, Penny. Next slide, please, Aisha. So we've looked at skin protection, and all across Bob, we used Mediderma Pro Foam and spray cleanser, and that's going to remain the same. It's on an amber list, so we'll need your NHS number and rationale for use. Same with the Mediderma barrier creams and the Mediderma barrier films. The honey barrier cream, we will be doing evaluations to undertake on that. The current available option across Bob will be the Activon honey barrier and Revimil. The Cavalon Advance will be going on specialist formulary only. That means for the wound care nurses in Berkshire West and TVNs across Bob will be able to order the Cavalon. Next slide, please. Cleansing and irrigation. So first line across the board, we should be using tap water and or saline. And then Octelilin is going to be on the amber with justification and the NHS number. So rationale is to be required, please. Next slide. So our protease modulators, so these are Ergo Start products. So Ergo Start Plus Pad, Ergo Start Contact, and the Plus Border. They're all going to be the amber. So rationale and NHS specific will be required, and that's no change across the Bob formulary. So that all remains the same. Next slide, please. Paste bandage. So we've gone for Ixapaste. It's on the amber pathway. Again, we need the rationale and NHS number. The Visco paste will remain as specialist only, and that's going to be ordered by the wound care nurses or the tissue viability team. So the Ixapaste is different for Berkshire West because originally ours was Visco paste, and we've moved over to Ixapaste. Next slide. So with regards to negative pressure therapy, so our VAC therapy, so across the board, we use Active VAC. For Berkshire West, we're under contract with that, so we can order direct from Solventum. And the VAC consumables will be available via Formulary, but these are for TVN or wound care nurse ordering only. As with the Avel pump or Pico pump, and so Pico will remain in Bucks and Avel will remain in Berkshire West. Oxford don't have an alternative to the VAC. I believe that's it from my slides. Thank you.
Penny, and thank you to all my TVN colleagues for sharing in this presentation. I have answered a few of the questions in the chat box, but if there's anything glaringly incorrect, please do feel free and pop on and ask your questions if I haven't made the response as clear as you would like. So I know that since the formulary launch, we were advised about certain categories of medicines that were going to be of dressings that were going to be discontinued, and what we'll do is the TVNs will do an evaluation of what could be the alternative and propose that to be included in the formulary on a more permanent basis. But that's why some of your feedback is really useful, because of new products that you may not be familiar with. It's useful to know what difficulties you're encountering, if any. So we will organise a feedback form for you to give us a feedback on the products. No, Inodine then, no, Inodine was deemed, well, I'll let the TVNs answer that question actually.
I think that's probably my responsibility to answer that one, since I did the antimicrobial section. So yeah, the first aid antimicrobial is now going to be Actilite, which Oxfordshire has had in the past but hasn't had recently. It is a honey impregnated piece of gauze, really. So it's not for treating a wound bed infection. It is for first aid, really. So have on your shelf, have in your bag, so that you can use that instead of Inodine. It's sort of like the honey version of Inodine, if you like. It's the Inodine of the honey world, so that you can use that as first aid whilst you're ordering your patient-specific product from your CCOM. So I'm sorry I missed that out. Shocking.
All forgiven, Penny. Are you happy with that, Julie? That explanation? Is OUH also adopting this formulary? OUH were part of it. They may not include all of this formulary, but they have an understanding, just because we've got the secondary and primary care will be quite different in terms of what wounds we're managing. So they have been aware of it, and it may not look completely the same. So if there are recommendations coming out from OUH which are not in line with our primary care formulary, then do please flag it to Medicines Optimisation, and we can work with the team to understand what could be the alternative that's on the primary care formulary, if that makes sense. What about our diabetic patients? No Inodine for overgranulated wounds, and the question is, what about our diabetic patients? Is there more elaboration?
Diabetic patients, are we talking about diabetic feet? There's no reason why you can't use honey with a diabetic, but with a diabetic foot, podiatry, yes, they tend to want to keep things dry. If podiatry are involved, then, and they want to use Inodine and think that's the right thing, they purchase their dressings through procurement. They're not tied to the same sort of rules and formulary that we are through the MOT. If they decide that Inodine is the right thing for their patient, they would need to supply you with that. And we have been in conversation with podiatry. They're aware that they would need to provide any dressings that they're advising that aren't on the formulary. formulary. So there are dry antimicrobials on the formulary. It would be the QTmed Sorb Act dry version, but you'd need to order that via Halo on the amber side.
And Penny, there were some updated contraindications for Inodine with renal function, and we felt that it wasn't, not everybody has access to renal function of the patients that they're treating. We felt that it was perhaps better to exclude it from the formulary because they were better, safer products to use.
Because of the change from not recommending to a contraindication. The rules were the advice was clarified to mean this is somebody with severe renal problems. But again, there are alternatives and better alternatives to the Inodine, really. So yeah.
Penny, can you just mention the name of the alternative to Inodine? There's a question as to what is
it's the Actilite, it's called.
Thank you. Just quickly going through, can podiatry order as we do not see the patient? Yes, I think hopefully that's covered the answer on that one. No more questions. I think I've covered them all.
So diabetic ulcers on lower legs, patient not under podiatry.
Yeah, I've just answered that one.
Oh, right. Have you? Well done.
Yeah, in the chat, I've answered it. Yeah.
Patient there, seeing podiatry. Yeah, all podiatry ones. For us wanting us to contact TVN for Ultraman AG for this patient. Maria Savannah. There's a question there.
Again, you know, that's all of the silvers will be via TVN, order. I don't think Atrium and AG was on the list. It's different ones, but we'd be able to advise on which one was suitable if indeed it needed to be a silver dressing. If one of the other formulary products was suitable, we would be advising that you use that rather than going for a red product.
Sorry, Penny, it's me. I accidentally cut that question off halfway through. It's me, Maria, here at Potteries. We don't see this patient at all, but podiatry want us to contact TVN, who are going to need the details to order the Atrium AG. Can podiatry not order it themselves?
So I would go back to podiatry and say that you're not involved with the patient, that podiatry could refer to TV themselves, but since Atrium AG isn't on the formulary, we still wouldn't be providing it. So either they'd need to provide it themselves or they'd need to choose something that's off the formulary.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
Cheers.
Could I just jump in there? I'm really sorry to interrupt, but I'm Zoe from Podiatry. I'm one of the clinic managers. Zoe. And hi, Penny. We have been in touch recently. I wonder if it's worth us talking about how we might manage that from a podiatry service perspective with other people needing those products and if we can or should order on their behalf.
Well, no, you would be ordering on your behalf for your patient. Okay. And if you think that's the right thing for your patient, then you would be supplying it. If somebody else is wanting it, then they would refer to us and we could help them advise it. But the bottom line would be, what's your rationale? And it needs to be something off the formulary, basically.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's helpful. Thank you.
Another question here from Sarah Carter. The jobs hosiery is now on formulary. Is there a measuring guide on the TVN website?
I think there's a measuring guide on jobs website themselves that is really helpful. I think they may even have a downloadable app that they can use.
Kit, I take it.
Yeah, they can use. And I just wanted to say about another question that was on there about amber products.
Yeah, I was going to say about that.
Yeah, in Bucks, we don't require a specialist form to be filled out. I think that's in Oxfordshire, isn't it, Penny?
That's only for red products, and that's
okay. So in amber, we don't.
No.
But that will be. I don't know about you in Berkshire, Michelle.
So currently for CCOMS, if you need anything that's on that amber product list and it's not on CCOMS available to you as a practice nurse, then you'll need to put through a specialist dressing request at the moment. That may change if we go over to Halo.
Yeah, so in Buckinghamshire, you request it with the patient's NHS number and your rationale for use. If the patient is known to community, then we can look at the photo and sort of see if we agree with your rationale, or if there's an alternative product that we might be able to suggest on there. But in Buckinghamshire, you should have all had an invite to the bite-sized trainings on the 5th of August. They are at separate times depending on your area of work.
Thank you very much. There's a question in here about whether Reading is going with CCOMS or Halo, and
We're still with CCOMS
we are with CCOMS at the moment. That decision
moment.
as a commissioner from the ICB has not been made, so we carry on with what we have at the moment, and we just carry on until we hear otherwise. But at the moment, each of our order platforms are remaining as they are until further notice.
So Maria, if we do go and do the change over to Halo, training will be provided before we actually make the change. So please try not to panic in that respect.
Yeah, and let me provide that reassurance is that if and when that should happen, it won't happen overnight. We will need to absolutely make sure that everybody knows how to order and manage a new system. It would be hugely unfair to just move over without giving all of that training and the reassurance to colleagues who need to use a different order platform.
And that responds to Wendy's question as well. Is there going to be bite-sized training for Berkshire, please? They will be as we sort of like move over, or if we move over to a different system. With regards to any dressings, we are looking into that at the moment. Jane's off this week, so that's a conversation that Jane and I need to have to cover over the West Berkshire area.
Thank you. Just looking at any more questions. Oxford PNs are back. So it's all about the training, which I think you've covered off reasonably well. Any more questions or further elaborations or clarifications needed?
Did you say we have to order the stockings through Halo now?
So you carry on ordering your stockings. There's no change to the order platforms in each of your localities. You carry on with whatever you were doing previously. That hasn't changed at all. That is a question that's still going around, but the decision hasn't been made. So however you ordered your hosiery or stockings or whatever, you carry on as you were doing previously. Is that okay?
Yeah, but it's on Halo now. So is there an advantage?
The hosiery kits are on Halo so that you don't have to get prescription and there's no delay, so that you can have a small stock on your shelf, so that you can get a patient into a hosiery kit straight away, negating the need for you to use compression bandaging. So following your lower limb pathways, you can do a red flag assessment to see if there are any contraindications or escalations you need to make on a limb. And if not, you can put them into 20 millimeters of mercury straight away before you have your Doppler done. So the idea of the hosiery kit is that you can get the 20 millimeters of mercury on, because the Jobst hosiery kits have got the liner is 20 millimeters of mercury, then you've got 2 weeks to Doppler, and then you get the top stocking on. So it's on Halo so that you can get that straight away and get your patient into it. That's one of the next things that's going to be happening, is a review of the hosiery formularies, and we would hope to be working towards getting nearly all hosiery on some sort of don't need a prescription situation, but that's very much work in progress for the rest of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Penny. I think there is another question still about the Inodine. Somebody using quite a lot of Inodine and they can't understand what the green dressing will be. Oh, here we go, Sharon. In Oxfordshire, we use Inodine quite regularly. Looking at the formula, we have no green antimicrobial. Is that correct? No, I think it's the Actylite.
It's Actylite.
Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
We've seen a bite-sized training. When do all these changes start? These changes should start around the 1st of August, the order platforms, but it'll be a gradual transition over. You know, you don't have to immediately rush out on the 1st of August and order all new products that are on the Bob formulary. It would be a gradual.
Please use up your stock.
Yes, it will be a gradual transition. If you run out of one product, you need to check what's the replacement, there may be a replacement, or you carry on with the existing ones and you order it through the order platforms as you do currently. Hosiery kits via Halo rest on FP10. Oh, that's good. Is there another question about?
Cosmopore.
Oh, waterproof Cosmopore. Sorry, I can't see the question itself. Aisha's helping me with it, but here we go. Yes, I had one above about Cosmopore waterproof above. Sorry, Joe, I don't understand the question.
That's the Cosmopore transparent, isn't it?
Joe, did you want to come in and just ask the question? Because I'm sorry.
Yeah, that is the Cosmopore transparent. Sorry, it's Michelle. I've been somehow logged off my computer.
That's okay.
I'm quickly talking on someone else's. Yeah, Cosmopore transparent.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's available.
Okay. It isn't on Halo at the moment. They'll gradually make the changes. It has, so we've got the launch, and now we'll be working with them to start making the products available as of the 1st of August. So from the 1st of August, we'll be able to start ordering the replacement product. Any more questions? Because we have about 20 minutes, but obviously if everything has been perfectly crystal clear. Oh, Penny, you've got your hand up.
And it was just to clarify, people were asking about the training in Oxfordshire. I've put the 3 dates there in. Bina, I know Martha had set up these sessions, and we have an issue with doing things on Teams. If we can invite everybody in Oxfordshire, but getting all the practice nurses invited needs extending that invitation to their email addresses. If we invite you, would you be able to invite all the practice nurses along?
We don't have direct contact of the practice nurses, Penny. The way we do it is that we send it to the practice managers and ask them to share the invite with any of their colleagues in the practices who have involvement with wound care. And we've kept it quite open because we don't really know if they've a specific job title or anything, but we can definitely send it to the practice managers and highlight that it's anybody who's involved in wound care.
Okay. Well, the dates and times are there. The alternative for people is they can just email our admin, who will invite them to the sessions. So tissue viability admin at oxfordhealth.nhs.uk for those dates that are in the chat, which will be recorded so that you can go back and have a look at them. They'll still be there. Just email and say which session you want to be invited to with your email address, and we'll send the invitation to you.
Yeah, we've still got lots of requests for the slides. We will post these on the SharePoint so that they're available. When we send these all out as an email, they can be quite clunky in your email. So we'll put the slides up on SharePoint for everybody to access as and when they need to.
But if you're present, you'll have the recording anyway. So
indeed, for Bucks, yeah. If you could have further training for Bucks, as a request for further training for a Bucks colleague who is a nurse in a nursing home.
Yeah, they were all sent out yesterday for all the nursing homes that we have contact for, all GP practices and all district nurses. I sent them all out yesterday. So it may be that it's gone to the practice manager or the home manager. So please check with them first. That is on the 5th of August. They're all being run on the same day, but at different times.
10 minutes. Yes. Penny,
sorry. Yes. One last thing. Again, so what will happen by the 1st of August in Oxfordshire, and I'm assuming that the other guys will do a similar sort of thing, is that there will be a spreadsheet with the new formulary on, so that you'll be able to go and see. Obviously, when you go on to Halo, you'll be able to see what your options and things there. If it's not there, you can't have it, sort of thing. But in Oxfordshire, we've had quite a large booklet that we've had printed out that's usually available on our website, and that's a glossy printed thing. There's like an educational document that goes through all the different dressings, etc., etc. That document is being rewritten. It's not far off finished, but it's unlikely to be ready for the go live, but we are working hard on doing that, and then sharing it with our colleagues in the other areas, because there's some slight differences between the areas, so they'll need to tweak their bits and customize it, but there should be like your handbook, if you like, of things to refer to support this. So we apologize that it's not already at time, but this has been a project that's been happening at pace, even to the last minute, would you say, Bina?
Oh, definitely, yes.
So we're kind of rolling with the punches, but we're all trying to get as much support and guidance out to you as much as we can. So it will be, what we've got will be available on our website come before the 1st of August, and the old formulary and things removed, and soon to follow the printed version, and we'll keep you all posted. And I expect my colleagues in the other areas have got similar messages.
Yeah, thank you, Penny. And from a medicines optimization perspective, we will be uploading the formulary statuses on our net formulary. So this is where you might go to see whether you can prescribe something, and it will give you some detail about what the status of the product is, whether it's green, amber or red, and whether it is on the formulary or not. So if there's no designation, it's likely that it's not on the formulary. Any more, how much money is this saving? Yeah, and that's a really good question. I do hope it's going to save a lot of money.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
I mean, there is an extensive exercise to be undertaken in actually calculating this in pounds, shillings and pence, which I've not had the time to do, but I'm again linking in with Oxford Health Innovation to try and work out the exact savings, because that's the goal. That was the point of it, is to streamline it all. And of course, in doing so was to also try and save some money, because wound care spend is very high. It might all be appropriate, and that would be fine. But we definitely need to work that out. But it's going to take a little while to work that one out. Can you share with your booklet with your TV partners, Abby? So what we'll do is any of the resources that we create, we will upload them onto our SharePoint so that we haven't got to remember to send them out. It's more about the resource that it's self-service. You can go there and find it. And I will link in with my TVN colleagues to sort of develop a page as to what resources we want there to be available for you. So you're not reliant on emailing us to find some documentation or resource or guide. It's all in a central repository where you can go in and access what you need to. But I will be working on that. The devising the formulary has taken quite a long time, and now I know I've got to do quite a lot of work in making sure that all the comms goes out to everybody and everybody can access resources as and when they need to. Where is the SharePoint located? We'll send the links out to the SharePoint and inform you where the presentation is when we've uploaded it. And yes, you might need to, depends on who it is, you might need to ask for access to SharePoint if you're an OUH colleague and email. So there are some issues, but you just have to request access. If you're not successful, then do please email Medicines Optimization, and we can try and work to either email you the resource that you're after directly, or to arrange for your access to be set to permissible.
And we go live on the 1st of August.
Yeah, but it is a slow transition. I am right in thinking that it'll be a slow transition. Use up what you've got, and then look to see what product has changed. If it has changed, it might not have changed because you might have already been using a product, and we've adopted your product to be the Bob product.
So for skin barrier, we don't plan to need this for a patient, and therefore need a stock, not order, with patient number.
We'll send you
So for barrier creams, etc., we will require a justification. So stock ordering shouldn't take that long. CCOMs, they get orders out, and some within 24, but certainly within 48 hours.
Any more? More questions? Yeah. Any more questions?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise. Different area. Do apologise.
Halo shouldn't be taking that long for a delivery. You should be able to get hold of your Derma S barrier products via Halo, and their delivery time is 48 hours. Anything I've delivered to be delivered to us takes 48 hours. If there is a problem with your Halo orders taking 4 to 5 days, can you contact Halo direct and just find out why it takes that long?
Nikki, I know I've seen various emails from you before, but if that's a persistent problem, then we do need to pick it up with Halo to understand what's going on. Somebody else saying usually it's 4 to 5 days for us too. Is that because it's being sent to a central repository and you're required to go in and collect the delivery, or is that the direct delivery address?
No, that looks like practice nurses to me.
Yeah.
No direct. Ah, well,
Yeah.
again, we need to know this because Halo give us very good statistics to say that they are about 99.9% delivering within 48 hours. And if that's not the case, then I need to know about that, please. And you can email Sarah Williams if you have her email address, but do please copy me in so that I'm aware of what the response is and what the reasons are for any delays. And it's much worse in the last 6 months. Ah, very interesting. Oh, as I say, please email us at the medicines email mailbox address, which we will share with you, because these are the issues that we need to be aware of, and we haven't been so far. Okay. Are we all good for closing? Northgate practice is 5 days. As I say, I repeat what I say before, please let us know when this is not the case. And if you email Sarah, please copy me in so that I can make sure that that's resolved pretty quickly for you. I'm reluctant to say, is that it? Because I've said that a few times and there's been lots of other questions. But no, seriously, if that is all, very pleased to have had you on the call today. And thank you for joining and making the time. I hope it's been informative, but please don't feel that you can't contact us for any clarification, because I know it was a pretty quick run through with what's happened, what's the changes. But if you need any further clarification, you know where we all are. At least we'll be sending you where we all are. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Michelle, Penny.
Thanks.
And everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.